Hey guys, it's Michelle Pippin, and I'm here to talk with you about what goes on sort of privately between me and the Women Who Wow members. Women Who Wow is the online alliance of seriously driven women entrepreneurs, and part of membership includes private member-only call-in day. And the way this works is on the first and third Thursday of every single month, members will make little laser coaching session appointments with me, and I call them at their designated time, and we talk about whatever is top of mind for them. And so I'm going to start doing these little videos to talk about some of the questions that I'm answering, some of the topics that I'm covering, so that it not only helps our members, but it also helps people who maybe should be our members. So, and it's funny too, when you are running a community or an organization, one of the things that you find is that you see a lot of the same things coming up. It's like we all kind of go through seasons together. It's a little bit like when girls move into a dorm their freshman year in college and everybody starts to be, have their same cycle schedule, right? It's like all of a sudden, like we kind of go through these seasons together. And so I've talked about that a lot, and I remark on it a lot with my members. But I just wanted to go over a few of the things that came up for my members today, because it doesn't come up for just one person, right? If you're dealing with it, at least 100 other people are dealing with it. And so here are some things that came up. One was, what to focus on, and specifically like, blogging or a newsletter or Facebook or Instagram or, whatever it is, right? And so where do I focus in terms of showing up on social media? Where do I focus to have the biggest impact? Because there's only so much time in a day. And so one of the things that continued to come up a couple times today is we don't have to have something unique and original for every different place that we show up, right? We can repurpose our material, and I'm not just saying like cut and paste and put it someplace, although I do that, right? Like I blog on Facebook, and then somebody cuts and pastes it onto my blog, right? So we do that, but there's also ways that you can creatively repurpose whatever it is that you're doing. And so you don't have to create from scratch something new for each and every platform. So what to focus on? One, you obviously want to pay attention to where you enjoy showing up. I'm sure I could make some money on LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn. I don't do a lot on LinkedIn, even though like everybody says like I should be there. I don't really enjoy it, right? Like, and I'm part of this equation. I'm part of the equation of my business. I want to do things that I really enjoy. But second to that, we also want to go where the people are, right? We want to go where people are hanging out, where we can have some impact and influence in a specific market. So that's, you focus on where people are and where that intersection is of where the people are and where you really want to hang out. And that really does give you a few options. And then there's nothing wrong with repurposing material, right? I look at it as stacking. So one of our members is writing a book, but also provides paid content for her membership, but also, of course, wants to provide content for the masses, right, to bring people into membership. And so we talked about how to repurpose, like start with what you're writing for the book, and then repurpose that for the public stuff, and then, or maybe take something for the members, and then do sort of a more surface version for the people who aren't members yet. So what to focus on really is, that intersection of where you want to hang out and where your people are. And you don't have to create a bunch of new material for each and every one of these outlets all the time. We also discussed, we always discuss on these days like sales pages or little tweaks that we can make to sales pages to create a higher conversion rate, obviously, right? Like writing copy is sort of where I cut my teeth in business consulting, and so I can help with that. But we also, one person talked with me about a tripwire, right? And you've seen these, like it's where you go to a website and somebody offers like a $7 thing, and they really want to sell maybe a $70 thing or a $700 thing, but they sell a $7 thing. It's a tripwire to see if they can, get you to pull out your credit card and trust them with that and get a taste, and then you pay to upgrade. And that used to be really popular, and I know a lot of people still use it. I have had, the only way I've had success with tripwires has not been, and this may totally be my mindset around it, right? Like, I don't really love the idea of selling something for $7 when I really want to sell something for $700. I don't love that idea. I don't love the idea of like, you know, pulling money out of people. Like, well, you don't want to give me 70, can you give me 7? I just don't love that. And so it's possible that's why it's never worked tremendously well for me. But what I have found success with not just in my own business, but also in client businesses and stuff, is where you have your sales page, and then when someone goes to X out of the sales page, they they'll get a pop-up, right? And it's like, well, would you like sort of the Reader's Digest version, or just the action plan version, or whatever, or just the written notes of this training, something like that, right? For $7. And in that regard, you do capture people who are like, $70, I'm not really sure about her yet. I don't know how thorough her material is. And so you do capture people like that. So I don't love it on the front end, because it does feel like a, whoa, you don't want to give me 70? How about 7? How about, do I hear 7? Do I hear 7? You know, I just can't really, that's just not my style, I guess. So, so we had some tripwire conversation. We also, a couple people said, you know what, need cash, right? I need cash. I need a cash plan. And so this is something that comes up in my consulting a lot. And so I love cash plans. I love figuring out ways to make money. And so there's two different ways, and this came up twice, and in whoops, I talked about two different ways, right, that we might be able to do this. But the first way is to make an offer that has a very, very specific application, a specific solution for a specific person, right? And so it's like a micro offer. It does not have to be a cheap offer, a micro offer, right? So for instance, if you sell, let me think of something, because I don't want to dishonor any of my members, right? So let's say, okay, let's just take me, right? So let's say that I need money like right away. I could sell let's say a 4-hour workshop on nothing but copywriting, or, how to take something specific, like how to go through 3 sales pages and increase the conversion rate by 25% by doing nothing but looking at what you're saying, or maybe the offer or packaging or something like that, right? So it's a very specific little offer that I'm making, and it solves a very specific problem. When you are trying to make sales now, that's a really, really powerful way to go, because people see themselves in your offer, right? If they're like, hey, this is for the, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who is, 41 years old and 3 kids, it's like I'm immediately gonna, my ears are gonna pop, perk up, and I'm going to know they're talking about me. And so you want to go in, if you need cash now, you want to have a very specific offer for your selling, and that really does perk the ears of your list open. And there's also a way to do it to where it applies to a lot more people, but you are able to create a very specific offer for a specific problem. The other option when you need cash is to look back through your lowest hanging fruit, right? This is why, and I hesitate to say this because Lindsay Satterfield just came on the live, and I always hate to say this in front of her. However, she is the best productivity expert in the world. Still, when I see people on Facebook who are saying, congratulations, I just got inbox 0. I'm like, oh my God, right? It's like throwing out money. It's throwing out money, because one of the things that I do every 3 or 4 months, is I go back through my my email box, and I look for low-hanging fruit. I look for emails that I kind of glossed over in a rush sometime, or I go back through and somebody's like, oh, let me think about it, and I just never got back to them, right? And so we move so quickly that we can actually, just stumble over piles of cash. And so in my piles of cash, because email is my preferred mode of communication, are always in my email box. And so this is something that, if you need cash, like go back to that low hanging fruit. Who have you not followed up with that, they said, please follow up with me later? Who have you, so who came and asked you a question and you kind of answered it like surface level, but they really should have become a client. Like, you look back through communication, wherever you have your communication, and you can find, you can find cash there. So the specific problem solution offer and then the low hanging fruit are the best ways that I know to get cash. So those are the problems that we solved, a little bit of the problems that we solved. I know Lindsay's not religious about inbox zero. I totally get it. And, but I still when I see that and I think about the, how people are really wanting to go to inbox zero. And I always think of Lindsay, but she's amazing. In fact, she helped me become so much more productive this morning by fixing my little Facebook situation. So inbox clarity and said, oh, I'm very clear in my inbox. I love that. So anyway, guys, so that's what we've covered today. If you have any questions for me, certainly put them in the comments below. If you are a seriously driven woman entrepreneur and you want to join us, then message me, m.me/Women Who Wow. If you've not registered for Women Who Wow Live, I think all of you guys have on the call. I think, yep. If you have not, there's still time. And Vera Bradley came in as our sponsor, one of our sponsors. I love them and they love Women Who Wow. And so we've got a lot of cool and fun and exciting things planned for you guys in Nashville, Tennessee. It's still time to get there. I will talk with you guys later. Bye.